Hello everyone, I totally forgot to film an intro for this video, but whatever, we're just gonna roll with it. I'm starting off with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I like how it really blurs my pores and I feel like I just get a flawless foundation application. Now I'm going to move on to foundation, and this is one of my favorite foundations by Too Faced. It's called Born This Way. I know this color is a little bit light for my skin, but also throughout the day as my skin oxidizes, this color ends up being a perfect match. But when I first put it on, it just looks really light on my skin, but that's alright. So I just like to dot it all over my face like this, and then I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques beauty sponge and just blend it all out. Now I'm going to do concealer, and this is the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light. I like to do pretty full coverage concealer under my eyes. I like my under eyes to be bright, and I also have dark circles, so I like to get that covered up really well. I forgot to mention earlier that my beauty sponge is damp, so with that same damp beauty sponge, I'm going to just blend out my concealer. Now I'm going to use this Maybeline Masterfix Setting Powder. I have been loving this. I've used the Laura Mercier setting powder. I've also used the RCMA setting powder, and both of those are good, but for the price that I get with this product, I'm really impressed with it. So now I'm just going to set my concealer, and then I'm also going to set all over my face, all with the beauty sponge. I know my skin is looking really pale right now, but now that my foundation's all set, I'm moving on to bronzer. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I love this bronzer so much. It warms my face up perfectly. Because I have fair skin, I have a hard time finding a good bronzer, and I don't have any complaints about this one. I like to put it on my cheekbones, my jawline. I also put a little bit down on my neck, my forehead, and a little bit on my nose. So pretty much all over my face. Now moving on to blush. This is an older Tarte blush palette I got over the holiday season a couple years ago. It's called Bling It On, and I'm using the color called Fetching. Now on to highlight. This is my Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop. It is honestly the only cheek and nose highlight that I use. I use multiple different highlights for my brow bone, but this I feel like looks the best on my fair skin, and it goes with every look. Now for my brows, I'm going to use my Anastasia Dip Brow in the color Blonde. I like to put on the back of my hand and kind of warm the product up with my eyebrow brush. This is the Anastasia eyebrow brush. After brushing out my brows, I'm going to start on the bottom and just kind of start to shape out my brow. I like to stay pretty close to my natural shape, and I really don't overdraw my eyebrows very much because I like them to look as natural as possible. When I do the top part of my brows, I like to brush my brow hairs down just so I can see the shape that I'm trying to create, and also to see where the thinner parts of my brow are so I can fill it in really well. Now moving on to the eyes, I'm using my Tarte Tartlette palette in the shade Free Spirit, and I'm using my Sigma E60 brush to apply this. I like putting a nude color down on my lid, especially when I know I'm going to be doing a lot of blending. It just helps with having a more seamless blend. Now I'm going to use my Morphe 350 palette, and I'm going to take this warm orangish brownish color, and I'm just going to slowly build that color up. This is going to be my transition color for what I'm going to do today, and I'm just going to focus it on my outer corner as well as my crease. With that same Morphe M441 brush, I'm going to pick up this burnt orange color. I'm just going to focus it on the outer corner of my eye and blend it in towards the middle of my eye just a little bit. Now out of my Jaclyn Hill palette, I'm going to take this color Cranapple. I started to apply this with a flat eyeshadow brush, but I realized it really wasn't picking up the pigment like I wanted it to. So then I go in with my finger to really pack it onto my eyelid, and then I'm just going to blend it out with this brush. I don't remember what brush this is. I just know that it came in a brush set that I got from Ulta. It's a Morphe brush set that they sell there. Now I'm going to darken the outer corner of my eye, and in that same Jaclyn Hill palette, I'm going to use the two colors Hunts and Jacz. I'm just going to mix these two on my brush and just pack it on there and then blend it out a little bit. The blending brush that I'm using for this is a Sigma E25. Now I'm going to pick up that first blending brush that I used and just kind of smooth together everything, making sure that there's no harsh lines between the different colors and that everything is well blended. Going back to the Morphe 350 palette, I'm going to pick up this gold color on my finger and just pack it onto my lid. I didn't want a strong gold color, I just kind of wanted a hint of it, so I'm going to take that flat eyeshadow brush I was using earlier and just kind of soften it up a little bit. I'm going to take that same kind of burnt orange color I used earlier and put that down on my lower lid. I'm using an Eco Tools flat eyeliner brush for this, and I'm just going to blend all of these colors together. Now using my Sigma E30 pencil brush, I'm going to pick up this color and just blend it all in. I'm going to pick up this color Beam, and I'm putting it on an e.l.f. smudge brush, and I always use this brush to highlight my brow bone and the inner corner of my eye. So I'm just going to apply this right under my brows as well as the inner corner. I'm going to take my Sigma E06, it's just a very small angled brush, and I'm just going to pick up any black color. The color I'm using is called Abyss out of the Jaclyn Hill palette, but you can use any black eyeshadow, and I'm just going to tight line around my eye just to kind of make it pop a little bit more. Now I'm going to take my Tweezer Man lash curler and just curl my lashes a little bit, and then I'm going to use my Loreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara. I have been loving this mascara. I feel like it really makes my lashes look really full and thick, and I don't usually put false lashes on, so I need all the fullness I can get out of a mascara. For my lip color, I'm using these two Bite Beauty lip products. They are old colors, so I don't think you can find them anymore, but the colors that I'm using are Sable and Torte or Torte. I have no idea how to pronounce that. I will put it in the description bar, but I usually like to mix colors just because sometimes I want it to be a little bit more brown or a little bit more pink. And in this case, I didn't want quite that much red, so adding a little bit of a more neutral color is just going to soften that up a little bit. And now I'm just going to set my face with my Urban Decay setting spray, and that is it for this look. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Goodbye!